What's up, guys? It's Duke back here from sportsgamers.com, and in this Madden 20 tip, we're going to continue to break down my full scheme of the most dominant run scheme in Madden 20 that also has some very good passing plays. Now, this is the single back wing tight Z. It's in a few playbooks, but I do prefer to run it from the Redskins book. Now, this formation is so dominant running the ball. It's the best running formation in my opinion in the game, but the passing plays are also very good, and you can use them to attack and beat any coverage or defense out there. So this is part 2. In part 1, I broke down the runs. I also broke down a passing setup. So I will put the link to the run breakdowns and the other pass setup I already did in the comments, and I'll pin them so you guys can see it if you missed it. In part 2, which is what we're doing in this video, I'm going to continue breaking down more passing setups. Now, the great thing about these passing setups is they don't require any abilities, so they'll work in any mode, whether we're talking MUT, regs, franchise, whatever, they'll work. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, the two main plays I want to talk about in this video are, and one of the great things about this formation in general, guys, is you have plays that have stock posts and corners like tight end attack and curl flat seam. So, I want to look at tight end attack first. So, this is going to be something that you can use to beat any coverage out there. Now, I will tell you guys that the most common thing you're going to face when going up against defense from running this formation is you're probably going to face a lot of cover 2 and cover 4. Now, you will see some guys time to time try to play the man run Ds, but they're really not going to be able to stick in those because the passing plays are going to destroy them. So most of the time, once people realize that, and even the run plays really destroy the man run Ds too, so people don't really try to do that too much. You're going to see a lot of cover 2 and cover 4. So that's what we're going to generally be focused on beating in this video. You see a little cover 3, but mostly cover 4 and cover 2. Now, before we go too much further, I do want to remind you guys to please subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button in the corner of the video. It's very easy. It just takes a second. And also turn your notifications on. This will make sure you don't miss out when our tip videos go live. We're going to be posting more Madden 21 news. We'll be posting some gameplays as well soon. So you're definitely not going to want to miss out on that. Also, guys, if you're really rocking with me, man, smash that like button. The support really does help us out a lot. Also, we have a third addition to the scheme I'm going to post, and that's going to be Hot Route Master setups. So if you guys want to see that, give me 250 likes. 300 on this video. So let's get into this first setup, and we're going to look at how to beat all the coverages out there. So this is cover 4 first and foremost. We're going to play hard flats out of the cover 4. Alright, so you can see that this play already has a nice post route built in, which is really, really, really nice. Like, that is something that we really like, and it's going to be really effective for us. Now, what we're going to do to make this even better is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some other routes that that they're going to have to contend with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the running back on a wheel route, but I'm going to make sure that the post route by the tight end is going to the short side of the field so that the running back wheel route goes opposite him. So I'm going to put him on a wheel route, and I'm going to flat the RB tight end. This is going to make it that they're going to have to guard the wheel route and the flat. Also, we're going to put this tight end on a flat too. Okay, next thing we're going to do is slant this receiver, and we're going to motion him over across the formation. So essentially what's going to happen is you're going to have 3 routes you're going to have to worry about using. So the post is going to get open with that flat to the tight end very well, to the short side. And then also the running back wheel with the tight end flat, they're going to have to worry about the running back because we got the wheel tight end flat combo. And finally, when you motion this slant over and you snap it while it's in motion, it's always going to be a route you have to worry about using too. So first of all, you can see we can just throw that, bam, that's easy every single time. That time I did a low ball, and the low ball is very effective if you feel like there is a decent amount of coverage over the middle of the field and you want to make sure you catch it. But honestly, we didn't even have to there. But I can tell you guys that the slant is definitely a route that they're going to have to use her, and if they don't, you can throw that every single time. All right, that's a very easy read, and it's going to be very, very, very consistent, something you can do all day long, really. Now, also, as you guys can see here, I did possession catches when I threw the low ball just to make sure that we were able to, get this catch animation and not get hit to drop the ball. As you guys know, happens a lot on this year's game. Now, other than that, as you guys can see here, we have the slant, or not the slant, but the post and the flat. As you guys can see here, the flat and the slant that we motion over open up the post. The post will always get behind hook type zones, and then the flat is going to take away any underneaths. because we have the slant coming in the opposite direction, it puts the user in a bind if they need to guard the slant or the post. Whichever one they don't guard, we can hit over the middle, and the post will always get underneath these deep zones like you can see here. Now, finally, which is what makes it so glitchy, is you have the running back wheel working with the flat. So the flat, he's going to pull all the zones to the sideline that are flat zones, and then the wheel will cut up in this open spot right here. So you essentially have 3 people you would have to user, and obviously that's not possible because the defense only has 1 user. So let's look at that same setup again. As you guys can see here, we flat both of the outside tight ends, we wheel the running back, and we put the outside receiver on a slant, then we just motion him across the formation so that he can go in the opposite direction of the post and really work with him. So you guys can see, bam, we hit the running back in that soft spot. Now, if it's tight coverage, you can possession catch it. If not, as we did there, you can just throw a bullet pass and catch it in stride. Okay, so that's the the second option we have. And then finally, the other option we have, which is really my bread and butter, honestly, if they don't use it, is this post. So, again, same thing's going to happen. You can just throw the post, and that's going to be every single time because the flat zone or the flat route will take the flat zone to the sideline, and then, it's just going to get behind any sort of hook zones, but yet underneath the deep zones, and with the slant coming the opposite way, it makes the user pick, am I going to guard the slant or the post, and still you have to worry about the running back wheel route always. So this is like a bread and butter setup for me that can be, that's really great at beating zone coverage. Now, if I know that you're going to play man coverage, I do run this a little bit differently, which is how I'll show you in a second here. All right, guys, now let's look at cover 2. So cover 2 is pretty easy to attack. It's the same thing. I always have this. Basically, I have the slant combo with the post over the middle, and then the running back out of the backfield. Right there, really easy catch to the running back out about 6-7-ish yards maybe. We'll take that every time. We can do the same exact setup and look to attack otherwise with the slant or the post, just like this, as you guys can see in a second here. See the slant and the post. So here, we're just going to make our read. You throw the tight end, post, click on possession, catch that, or get the dive catch, whatever you want. And yet we still do have the slant. So this is how I like to run this play against zone. It's very, very easy to attack zone this way. The only thing about zone I have yet to go over is really cover 3. But cover 3 is, not too common, but we can show it against cover 3 quickly here. But your reads are pretty much going to be the same every time when you're talking about zone coverage. Now, if you're talking about man coverage, if you know they're just sitting back in one of those man Ds, I do recommend running it a bit differently, which is what we'll show you in a second here. So as you guys can see, it's pretty much the same thing against a cover 3 that is against a cover 2 and a cover 4. You're always going to have your 3 main reads, are the slant, the post, and the running back. The flats, they're there if they blitz you heavy and they don't really put anyone in the flats, but they're more so to open up the other routes more than anything else. They open up the slant, the wheel route, and the post to have more room to work with. We're not really looking to hit them here, but you guys can see the running back's open as he cuts up. The slant's open there over the middle, and we actually went to the post here that was open. All right, so let's say that they are in man coverage. How do I like to run this against man? Guys, so I want to look at this 3-5 wide running now with the double safety spy. So I like to run this pretty much very similar way against man coverage. The only really difference is this RB tight end, okay? I still wheel route the running back, still do the motion slant to the receiver, and I still put the X tight end on a flat. And the reason why I do that is a lot of the times, or sometimes anyway, they'll try to play man coverage and put this guy in a purple or something. And if they do that, I want that flat there to get him out of the way. Now, this RB guy right here, this tight end, this is actually a good route to beat man coverage if you have a good tight end. But if you don't, what I'd recommend doing is putting them on a smart routed out route, because that will be a route that's always pretty much going to be open against man. Or, if you just want to, do something to make sure they have some sort of coverage over the top, you can put them on a streak. So it really just depends. I'm going to leave him on the route he's currently on here, but those are some options you do have. I actually really like the wheel route against man coverage because a lot of these defenses, like I said, they don't even try to guard the running back. And, even if they do have the running back manned up, from this formation and these types of sets against this type of man coverage, a lot of times the running back will just win on the wheel route and be wide open. And even if he's not, you just need to force them to guard the running back, period, because if you don't make them guard the running back, they can free roam the middle of the field way easier. So you definitely want him on this wheel route. So first of all, as you guys can see here, the post and the slant, those are two really easy reads. Those two are always going to be open, so it's just a pick your poison type deal. There we got a touchdown. So by those two receivers alone, you're going to be good because they're going to, like, again, they can't really just do too much because they're going to have to guard every player on this play. Like, a lot of times people want to user this guy. So if we send the running back out, that means their user has to go guard the running back, which is key. So, you got to make sure that they have to respect your running back. Otherwise, they're just going to be able to free roam. But past that, I mean, we have, even the running back sometimes will get open, but we have other routes. Mainly, like I said here, we got the slant, we got the post, and then we potentially have that RB route too. That route doesn't get open every single time. It really just more than anything depends who the player is. Alright guys, so the next play I want to look at is this curl flat seam. I like this play a lot because it already has a nice corner route built in, which really makes this very, very easy to attack any sort of defense you're going to face. So, the way I like to run this is, and I actually did break down a setup in this in the previous video, but this is the other main way I like to run this play. So, we're going to look at attacking the zones first. So this corner route is pretty quick breaking, and what I like to do is pair it with a tight end flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to motion this tight end over, put him on a flat, okay? When you have this flat with this quick corner, you can pretty much abuse any coverage with this route, and I'm going to show you guys what I mean in a second here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wheel route this running back, and I'm going to put this receiver over here on an out route, guys. Now, this tight end right here is kind of your wild card guy. Now, if you did have a hot route master, a route apprentice, or tight end apprentice or something, you could definitely do more with him. But if you don't, you could just block him if you need the protection. You could leave him on that seam. You could even just put him on like a curl route just sitting in the middle of the field so they can't abandon that area. Or, like I said, if you just like the seam, you could leave him on that. That's pretty much the guy that you can just do whatever you want with. But honestly, he's not really much of our part of our progression here. Our progression is mainly with the running back and the outside receiver and then these two tight ends. So basically what I do when I snap the ball is the first thing I always do is I look at this outside receiver because he's on just a baby quick out route. So if they're in anything but basically cover 2, I can just snap throw the out route against a cover 4, cover 3, whatever, because there's no way any sort of flat zones from the inside of the field can get over that fast to guard that. Now, if they're in cover 2, I know I can't throw that, so then I move on to either throwing to the corner route or the running back out of the backfield, basically whichever they don't use her. And then obviously this guy right here, he's kind of your last read on whatever route you have him on. But as you guys see, I mean, against a cover 4 or cover 3, that's basically anything but cover 2. That's a free, 6, 7-ish yards. So that's always nice. Now, again, with both of these play setups I'm showing you in this video, you want to make sure that this two tight end inside the formation is on the wide side because you want the running back wheel route going that way, and he's always going to go to the wide side. So, now the thing I really do like about this play, though, is this quick corner route to the tight end. It just gets open in such a way that you can pretty much lowball it against any coverage in the game. If they don't use it, it's going to be open. And because it breaks so fast, it's also a man-beating corner, too. So you guys can see here, when you motion this flat over, it's going to take the flat to the outside, whether it's like an inside player on the flat like here where we're in the cover 4, or it's a corner if we're in the cover 2. It doesn't really matter. He's going to draw him to the outside. So basically, as soon as he gets away from whatever the hook zone is over in the middle of the field like he does here, just low ball it, and it's free money. Now, you didn't even have to low ball here because it was so open, but, you can low ball it in tighter coverage, and it's basically always going to be a possession catch, and it's going to be a dot. Now, if they use her that's when you would look to hit the running back out of the backfield. I didn't hear because, well, that guy was wide open. But, if they did guard my corner route, then that would be pretty much what I was looking to do. So, like I said, you can leave that tight end on that seam streak, block him, put him on a curl, whatever you want to do with him. So, we're going to look at the running back this time. As you can see, the running back's open, easy click on possession catch. But again, if I see that off coverage there that's not cover 2, I'm just going to throw that out route every single time. Now let's say they do get it. Now first of all, I do want to just show you cover 3. Like even if the safety's going over there, he's too far in the middle of the field. He's not going to be able to affect this out route. So I mean, it is literally like taking candy from a baby. Like I mean, that's free yardage every single time. So at a certain point, they're not going to play cover 4 or cover 3. They're going to get in cover 2 because of that route itself. So that's a route that just gets them up out of really anything but cover 2, which I love. Because think about it. You know, you have to basically play a 3-4, maybe 3-5 wide against this offensive formation to stop, to at least be able to slow down the run. So you can't just be in like big dime 1 for 6 or like dime or like, you know, something to where you would just have somebody that you can slide out to guard that. It's going to have to be this corner. The only way to do that is cover 2. So that itself almost forces, a lot of cover 2. So you finally get cover 2. All right, so here's what you do when you get cover 2. So we get cover 2, we can no longer throw that, right? I mean, so let's take a look. Because we can no longer throw that, we're going to have to, like I said, we're going to have to read either the tight end corner flat or the running back out of the backfield or potentially this tight end right here on whatever route we have them on. So I'm basically, my 2 key reads in this case would be the tight end corner and running back wheel, and it's just basically whoever they don't guard. So there you can see that guy was wide open on the low ball. We just got an inaccurate pass. You know, it's Madden 20. And, you know, we've seen that 1,000 million times so far this year. What can we do? But we'll do it again. Hopefully we get a better throw this time. You know, that inaccurate pass has got to go. Like, there we go. Quick, easy, accurate pass. Easy dot. You know, we're able to get that in there every single time. That's no problem. As you guys can see, you know, even though it's cover 2, you would think cover 2 would slow this down, even on the short side, right? But no, because this guy takes this flat corner far out enough that as soon as we see him pass up that hook zone, I'm getting ready to throw the ball. And I'm just going to throw a low pass, and you definitely will want to throw a low pass against cover 2 and possession catch it like that. Now, if they were to manually guard that, that's fine, because then, like, either we have, like, first of all, if this was the user, you know, and they want to go manually guard that, then we just throw to the seam. And if it's not, we're going to throw to the running back, right? So let me get in cover 2. All right. Now, what a lot of people might do is they might just man this guy up, and they might try to take this guy, go run and guard this corner out, something like that, out of cover 2. And, you know, that is not a terrible idea, except for now, if you do that, if you go over there with your user, now all I have to do is throw the running back out of the backfield. Now you might say, well, what if they just leave that, what if they just, instead of manning that tight end up, they actually man the running back up so that you can't throw the running back out of the backfield? Okay, so that's not a bad idea. Let's see about this. So we're going to man up the running back, and then we're going to take this guy to go user the corner out. That's where this tight end actually comes into play, because if they do that, now that's going to have to be our read. But like that's the thing about this play is no matter what they do, we have an answer for it. So let's take a look. You know, they got the running back manned up. They go try to take the corner right away. That seam streak is angled in such a way that it's extremely effective for that quick throw over the middle. And if they try to go jump your corner out, you just throw that every single time. Now, honestly, this setup right here, you know, is a better zone beating setup. The first setup I showed you beats, from the other play, beats man better, in my opinion. But with all that said, if you do know that they are playing man coverage, and this time I'll show like it more against like edge blitz type look at a 3-4. This play can beat man coverage really easily too. I just run it slightly differently, and I kind of like briefly touched on this in my part 1. But you know what I would do against man coverage is pretty simple. Like I already know that this corner route is a really good corner route to beat man because it breaks fast. So what I really want to do is basically the same thing. I still want to have the running back out of the backfield on a wheel route because I already know, like, if they're going to blitz me like this out of a 3-4 odd, which is normally going to be a blitzing type man coverage, you know, I need to have someone that's going to get open, you know, quickly in the flats like the running back. So I'll do that. And then another thing I'll probably do is I'll probably block this tight end so I have, you know, just some sort of protection. And, you know, if I really wanted to, what I would do past that is do a smart routed in route to this other tight end, so I have another read over the middle. Maybe if you have an ability there, you put them on a trail or a post, but if you don't, I do a smart routed in route. Now, what's going to happen here is it depends what type of man coverage they're in. If they're in man coverage to where they're blitzing everybody like they are here, you're pretty much going to read the slant, the corner, or the wheel, okay? So here, like, I see that they're blitzing. I just have to get it out quick. I see the running back's unguarded. I throw it to the wheel. That could potentially be a touchdown. If not, it's still good yardage. Now, if they do manually go guard that player with their user, which like here would be the safety, so let's just man them up to kind of try to mimic that. That's fine, because then I'm going to throw to either the slant or the corner over the middle of the field, the slant or the corner breaking to the sideline. So like here, boom, that's super easy. That's a dot every time. Now, again, it just all depends what type of man coverage they're in, because, they might not blitz you like crazy. Maybe they just play Storm Brave, and, that's, it still is a man-to-man run defense, but it's not like a blitz 7 like edge blitz. It's more of just like something like this where, they're sort of blitzing, but, they're not just blitzing crazy, right? So, in that case, we're going to have more time to make our reads, so we don't have to, like, rush. We're still going to do the same setup, though, just like this. And now, though, we do have a bit more time. So, like, we could come back to the in route over the middle field if we need to. But first, I just generally do look at the running back, the corner, and also the motion slant. So that time you see I was able to hit the corner. Now, I will say, if you don't have the best tight end there, you might want to consider putting them on a smart routed out route. And the reason why I say that is when you don't have the best players in the game, sometimes they won't get as open on corner routes, but on smart routed out routes, they pretty much will get open every single time. It's not like a dice roll type thing. So you guys can see here what I'm talking about. See how the dip, I caught the ball the first time, but I had small separation. Right there, I had big time separation. Now, the one thing I'll say, though, is, I know most people out here play MUT, and they have post-flag elite and all that, and really good players. So if you have a tight end with post-flag elite and just a good player in general, he's going to get open on that corner out every single play. But if you play regs and maybe that's like your second or third tight end, he's not very good, and sometimes he gets open and sometimes he doesn't, that's when the smart routed out route can be beneficial for you guys. And actually, that smart routed in route is kind of the same way. Like, smart routed in routes and out routes just pretty much get open against man coverage every time, no matter who the player is for the most part. Which is why I really like them, because you don't have to have the great player, the post-flag elite and all that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, give me 250, 300 likes on this video and I'll drop part 3.